Hello everyone. I hope you can see me. Let me know if you can see me. And it is so good to see you. How are we doing? I hope I'm working. Let me see. All good? Yay! Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Hi, Barbara Smith. And Hopi's here, and Polly, and Cheryl, and Mare, who got really good news this week about her health. Her A1C is remarkably low. She is so amazing. And so her A1C is really good. And then her other numbers are good, so she needs no more treatment. I'm trying to get my camera kind of set up right. YouTube is still loading. I'm sorry about that. But it is so very good to see all of you. And I've had a busy week. If you notice, something's hanging up behind me, and that was our class quilt from July, and I want to show you. Let me see if I can zoom in, because guess what? It's been quilted. See the quilting? Now, I was really perplexed yep, no chemo for Mare. I'm so excited. But let me try to bring it a little closer here. Okay. So I just wanted to show you. Let me zoom back out a little. Whoops, no, out, Deb, out. Okay. So I'm hoping if I can move it under the light, you could see more of the quilting. But I had a hard time figuring out how am I going to quilt this. I knew I would use mostly black thread, and I don't know, let me bring the light around. Let me see, I'm not sure if you can see, but I've done a little wave pattern. Oh, I'm having a hard time seeing it myself. But I did a wave pattern around the exterior border, and then in the squares, I did the traditional, let me bring it closer. I did the traditional, whoops, I went in just a little too, okay. So in the corners, I did little loops that go up and, little loops that go into the point, and then I just did the curved lines around the square. Now let me see, oh, there you go, there's my wave. I did a wave with two edges, so it looked a little more contained, gives it a little bit more definition. Then, when it came to what I'd like to show you, let me see if I can show you. I'd like to show you what I did for the snail's trail. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but I wanted to really emphasize the snail trail. Let me see. Oh, there it is. It's showing a little bit now, but I did like little clamshells. Am I working? I know, I accidentally... Hold on, guys. You want to... I accidentally closed that docking window.
Which docking window? This one over
They're
here?
supposed... Yeah. Oh, thank you. Because I couldn't get that straight. And it's giving me a fit. Oh, thank you. Did you notice I was having a little bit of trouble?
Caution about moving this around because you got plugs that just want to come unplugged.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you, sweetheart, so much. All right, so what I wanted to do is just show you how I did like little clamshells, little curved lines that went around for the snail's trail. So there it is. Whoops, there's the backing, but I can't. I wanted to hang it up because I wanted to be able to show you. The only problem is then, let me see, I don't know if I can go any closer. I need to bring a flashlight down here so I can show it. But anyway, oh well. But I did, the main thing I wanted to show you is I got it done. And it's so funny because today I have been, anything I do and I raise my arms, oh, they're so sore because I spent a couple of days, just hours and hours trying to quilt it. But it is done except for the binding. And I haven't decided what to do with the binding. So I will figure that out. You know, I might pull out like a blue, one of the blue fabrics and do the binding with that. Because that blue does kind of show up, doesn't it? So that might be a nice little something different, you know? Okay, so that is Snail's Trail Alfresco from our summer class. And that was a lot of fun. And at some point, I'll start another version of that for Mark. That's going to be all the wave colors. So, okay, let's see who else is here. Debbie is here. You were here nice and early. I'm going to go all the way to the back. Barbara Smith was the first person here. And there's our Marcia and Hopi. I am so glad to see you. And Mare, I'm so tickled about her health doing so good. She is very inspirational, I've got to tell you. So, oh, it's so good to see all of you. So, now, Polly just said yellow. Oh, maybe you were a multicolor border or yellow. You know what? The yellow is a very good idea, too. Piece together scraps from the quilt. Now, you know, Merritt, that's an excellent idea. You and both Debbie came up with the same thing, multicolor. So I will check what did I do with those scraps and see what I can do. But I like it. I think it's very dramatic. It's a little different in colors too. It's got some dark reds and dark oranges, slight browns. You know, it's really, I guess when I looked at the design, I thought Moroccan. So I thought, you know what? Let me see if I can pick some heavy Moroccan type colors. So, but I like it. Now that it is quilted, I can just bind it. I am loving how I really push to get things completed. Although I say that, and my sparrow quilt isn't completed yet. So let me look here. All right. We want to give a shout out to Ukraine. We will keep doing that. 4 years. Who thought we'd still be doing that? I am learning a lot with my polymer clay. Let me get it ready to show you. I haven't had that much time to spend with it, I'm sad to say, because I have been very, very busy, but I can show you what I'm doing and what I'm learning, because to me, that's very important as well. So let me now, still working on your quilt share, that's great. Doing this show keeps me very motivated. If I wasn't doing this show, before I did this show, I had a backlog of things. I've got quilts that haven't been finished in 20 years. So doing this show keeps me on my toes because I'm too embarrassed to say it's still not done. But it's not. It's nice. It's nice to be able to get things done. All right, now, so last week I showed you I had made these beads. I'm going to bring the camera down a little bit more. I had made these beads, and I showed you how I used the wires to dip the beads into the can of water-based polyurethane paint. And I just wanted to show you, you'll notice, well, maybe not, there's a little dent, yeah, right over there. I am needing to learn how, oh, I got the resin on this butterfly. And I got the resin put on all these little pieces that are going to be for earrings. So I'm liking this. So then I said, okay, I'd like every week to do a new project. And this is what I did this week. Now, I'm going to give you a little warning. When she says bake it for half an hour at the temperature recommended by the product maker, she doesn't mean bake it an hour and a half. So make sure you don't wander away, get involved in something else, and forget to come back. Let me try to organize these into some shape. All right, let me turn this light back off because I think that light is causing a little bit of a problem. All right, these are a little darker in person than you see, but I like doing these little tiny things for earrings. And then I did these two little shapes. This was supposed to be with using translucent clay. This was supposed to be, I think it was like a turquoise looking stone. But when you walk away to bake it, and you set the timer for half an hour, but you don't come back for an hour and a half, the translucent turned dark. And I want you to notice, it's going to take some work for me to get better with the resin. What I need to do is set up a bright light and put the resin on using little some kind of little stick with a point so that I can spread the resin to something nice and flat. But once you have this, I can try to sand it and put more resin. It's really not going to work good. So this is part of my learning curve. It's being exact and careful. But anyway, I was telling you about working on this and over baking it. Well, I've decided it kind of looks like ocean and waves and sand. So it turned too dark, but it looks like sand. So, and here is a little jagged edge design I like. And I'm just looking at my little cutters and trying to, like, here is one shape. But I like to show you, I know this is a quilting show, but another thing too, be careful when you put these on the silicone. Wherever the little UV light does not touch, will not get hardened up. So what I need to learn to do is to flip all the pieces over, because sometimes that resin will run to the back. I'm not that good at putting it on yet, and it'll run to the back, and then the back is still sticky, and it'll stay sticky until it is baked, so to speak, with that light. And it's just little LED bulbs. But anyway, here is this week's project. As you can see, I still need to work, but I'm enjoying it, and you know, I'm learning a lot. But the main thing I need to do is learn to watch my texture, make sure everything, because it's got blobs of the resin, that I've got to watch the texture. Oh, and this one, I used some opal clay, so it's got little iridescent flakes in it, and then I added some of those sheets, the silver and maybe a little bit of gold of the tiny thin metal sheets. So that was good practice for me. Alright, I'm getting my little wet wipe here. Also, where the resin sits on the silicone, it will bead up and cure, but with silicone you can just scratch it off with your fingernails. So alright, so I did that. Now, while we're here, I'll show you a couple other things. When I was going through my beads and necklaces to get the polymer clay set up in a nice big container ready to go. And so when I was looking through, I found these. Now, I don't know if any of you know what these are. And I thought I would give you a chance to show off how brilliant you are. It is not something that's very common. It's natural. And I learned about this because when I worked at the museum, one thing we learned is the people that came over to settle the colony of Maryland were mostly Catholics, and so they had to hide their religion because Catholicism was against the law in England. So they grew this, and it was a way for them to make their rosary beads. So anybody know what these are? And I don't expect that anyone would. I would have been shocked because these aren't common for us anymore. These are called Job's Tears. Yep, and they're supposed to be a rosary, Polly, yeah. And I don't make rosaries, so I just make necklaces. But you grow these in your garden, and these were either grown by me or probably grown by my daughter Katie. And they're like a rice type plant, and they send out, these are the seed pods. I saw earlier one of the seeds sticking out, but they have just thin, fine little seeds. I don't see it right now. But they automatically have holes in them because that's where the seed comes out. And so then you can take, now these were pulled off the plants when they were still black and silver. These are ones that stayed on the plant longer. Just depends on what color you like. But these have a natural crackle to them that I think is pretty. And then look at the natural shine on the beads when you pull them out early. So I just thought, what the heck, I would show you these. And I used to grow them in my garden when I lived in Maryland, when I had the little farm. And I would grow them and keep these ready, and anybody that came to the house, I'd give them a gift of a natural Job's Tear, Jobs Tear, natural necklace. So then this week I stayed busy in the evening And because I've got to keep this weight loss going, you know that. So remember last week I was showing you that I had taken the paper from the bags of flour and sugar from Harris Teeter, their own Harris Teeter brand. And I just thought the gingham paper was so cute. So I rolled the beads, then I put the triple thick acrylic sealer. I also dipped the ends in white paint just to give them a more finished look. So I went ahead and I strung these with little white spacer beads. So here is the necklace and here is the bracelet. And I have some light blue blouses that I can wear this with. So it's a good color for me. All right, then I was trying to clean up. Let me come back to the main camera because all right, let me come back. Do any of you have this problem? Being kind of artistic, that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. But being artistic, do you happen to sometimes develop little piles of things in places where you sit? I do. Mark calls them Deb's little piles. And I saw the cutest thing the other day, and it said, those aren't piles of mess, they're piles of ideas. And that is so true, because I've always got something clicking and working on. And so I keep them handy so that any moment that I have despair, I can work on a project. So I was going through all the papers that I have saved up to make paper beads with. And I'm trying to minimize, throw things out that, well, that's not going to really make that pretty of a bead, because junk mail can add up so quickly. And before you know it, then you do have a big pile of junk. So I was going through the pile, and now let me show you what I found in it. I had gotten, let's go back to the close-up, I had gotten a piece of mail in that had a PIN number in it. And I don't know if it was for my insurance, my health care, or credit card. But this PIN number came, and it was a reasonably thick paper. And the security code, you know how they put the security code in the lining so that people can't look through it? This was the security code. I thought, whoa, hi, Miss Mary. I thought, I have hit the jackpot now. I got so excited when I found this. And I'm going to see if I can show you. It's the black and white design, but there's something written in gold. And I thought, oh, how cool. And what's written in gold is PIN. P-I-N. So in case you didn't believe that this was truly junk mail, that I would show you where it says PIN. But oh, I wish I had more. I only had enough just to make these beads. And since I sealed the ends with black paint, and then I put the triple thick on them once I rolled them, and then I said, well, with the little bit of gold on there, I'll put a little gold bead. So here is that necklace, and I will definitely wear this. I love this. Put it with a black top, you've got something nice. Then I said, well, I don't know how I would ever get more of that paper. And so I said, I don't have enough for a bracelet. So what I ended up doing is just using beads I had. using the gold from here and adding black beads to it, so that I now, because I do like matching up my bracelets and my necklaces. Okay, now while we're down here, I hope, and sorry, a Sharpie pen got away with me today, but, all right, Lisa and I got our invitations and our registration to go to the Myrtle Beach quilt party. And I right away, just like Miss Lisa said she was going to do, sent in my registration and my class choices. Now, we don't find out for sure what classes we actually, because you put your top, your second choice, third choice. This is a grayed out image of the first choice that I hope I get. And I love it. It looks like a colonial pattern. And it's got 9-patch center. And, 9-patch center. Actually, it might be more than that. Oh my goodness, I gotta count that up. But what I did is I took the picture of the class, I put it on a grayscale, lightened it, and printed it out. I can now use this and my crayons or colored pencils, and I can work up some ideas of what colors, what fabric colors I want to use to make this quilt, because I think I'm really going to enjoy it. It's not an art quilt, it's a traditional quilt, but it has that colonial flair. And since I grew up not far from Williamsburg, that kind of has always been my go-to theme. So, just wanted to show you, it's very easy to do this. Save the picture, and I saved it into Word, and then I printed it on grayscale and pale, and now I have made 3 copies so I can try different versions. So, got that done. Okay. Now, let me see. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and show you this while I'm showing things, because I'm going to need all this space to work on our brand new art quilt, which I'm getting so excited about. I saw this, and I don't know where I saw it. I tend to forget, but I saved this picture because the Grinch is such a favorite of mine. I love the Grinch. So when I saw this, I thought, how cute. Because I'm pretty sure this year we're going to have a homemade Christmas too, because it is just going to be hard to get anything in, order online, or even find enough of things in the store. So I saw this and thought, aha, I don't have an embroidery machine, but I can hand embroider this. So I need to make a template for the face. I said, okay, I don't want to work with fake fur, because oh my gosh, when you cut fake fur, that gets everywhere and it makes me feel very allergic. So I went online and thought, okay, I would like to find some lime green low pile fabric, and I typed in Minky, and look, it's perfect. It's nice and soft, and the pile is just a nice low pile, so when I cut it, I'm hoping it won't make a mess, but I love the color. And I ended up at 60 inches wide. I ended up buying 2 or 3 yards of it, and I think it was about, I don't know, $11 a yard. So I am very excited. I think it was 2 yards at 60 inches wide. but I think it's going to make the cutest pillows. And so each of my grandchildren are going to get their own pillow. My daughters and my son, they'll get their own pillow. I'll probably make one for Mark and I too. So now I'm going to have to make sure I go buy stuffing because I am going to need stuffing for this. But I love the Grinch and I'm excited. It's one thing that I found that I'm going to start on. Yeah, it was 2 yards and I bought it from Mia's Fabrics Incorporated, and I ordered it on September 2nd and it got here probably a week later at the most. So I'm very happy with it. It doesn't have the price on here. Oh, this came from Houston, Texas. So I'm really happy. Mia's, whoops. Oh, come on, camera. Don't get crazy on me now. Mia's Fabrics. All right, so there we go. I'm excited about that. Can't wait to start working on that. I'm going to try to be early with everything I can. All right, so now I'm going to come back to the main camera, but I showed you a lot of good stuff. So if you come up with any ideas for Christmas presents or Christmas ornaments, I'm not going to make as many this year. I just can already tell I don't have it in me. The last 2 years, I've gone nutty and made dozens of ornaments. So not this year. I can already tell. So, but if you have any ideas of things you're going to make, and we can share the ideas. And if I end up drawing a good face that I like, I will make a copy of it, put it on our group's IO, so if you want to use it, you can too. And hopefully we've got a new member. I had an Ann Drew that asked to join our group, and she also, hi Miss Bonnie, oh, it's so good to see you. Oh no, Mary, the motor belt broke. I think we all need to help encourage our Mary to get a new sewing machine, a new, lightly used. But I think I did, Bonnie, say the same thing last year. You are so smart. Bonnie doesn't miss a thing. But, oh no, to look for a vintage V-belt 15-inch in size. Oh my goodness. Mary, I'm so sorry, sweetie pie. So, while you said that, Mark had to fix our vans. We have 2 Honda Odyssey vans. One was made in 2002 and is still running, and that it wasn't until 5 years ago that I bought another car. Went and bought a used. I like buying lightly used cars, and I usually go to CarMax, and but I got a 2016 and it still hasn't flipped over 50,000 miles yet. And but we had a problem. Yes, Kenmores, those older Kenmores are so solid and so quiet and so steady. They were wonderful. But oh, just real quick while I'm looking at it, 2 more empty spools to add to my year's empty spools. I've started stringing up my spools as I empty them. It makes me feel good to see them and know I have been doing a good bit of sewing. So, but anyway, so we've got these 2 cars, and I like to run them until, if they start costing more to run than getting another car. So, we had noticed sometime, there was one time in the driveway that there was gas leaked on the driveway. And then we noticed with both of them, you'd get home sometime and you'd smell gas. So Mark did some investigating, went under the car with a flashlight, and the thick rubber hose that connects the fill to the gas tank on both cars had scratch and gouge marks and holes. That's just odd. I can't imagine both cars at the same time. If any of you know, is there a wild animal that would get up there and try to eat that thick rubber? I don't know. We were wondering what in the world. So he had to look and find those thick rubber, no longer than just over a foot. Altogether, they were about $90 some, total. And so he got them in, and the other night he replaced them. So I'm so glad he could do it. He was complaining about how much they cost. And I said, when's the last time we've spent any money on those cars? Good point, he said. And he only drives the old one if he has to, or if he's going to take things to the dump, or like it does give me the chance to go out of town and he still has a vehicle. So, but I'm so glad he fixed that. But don't you hate when things aren't working right? I know. It's just, so 40 pounds of machine. Hi, Dolores is here. Oh, we have an artist in the studio. That's wonderful. So good to see you. So, anyway, enough about my car problems. But I said, really, do we have that much to complain about? Nah, I think we won't complain. So, anyway, today he got the lawn fertilized and he scratched up the bare spots and reseeded them. So, and now he's gone on a bike ride. So I'm very happy for him. Ooh. And we decided, I told him I needed to get out of the house. Now, it's not a bad price when you consider taking him to the shop. You're exactly right. So I said, I want to get out of the house. Let's go see a movie. That was always my favorite thing to do. When I lived in Maryland, I could get on the base because my first husband was Civil Service Defense Department. I could go on the base and for $1.50 go see a movie. And I loved that. So I haven't been going to see movies as much because there was a few years we just didn't go with whether it was COVID or the writer's strike. So Tuesday, we're going to go to a movie. We're going to go see Hamilton made into a movie. Now, I'm the last person on the block to get on the Hamilton bandwagon because my grandkids, Becky's children, had memorized so many of the songs in that musical. And so, yeah, and so I get to go finally see what all the hullabaloo is about. Original cast, and I think what they did is did a filming of an actual production, but then they've included other things in with it. So either like it or hate it. Yeah, I have a feeling. And so when I went to sign up for the movie, we go during the week in the daytime because we mostly have the theater to ourselves. I mean, come on. The tickets were only $5.99. Yay! So I'm very excited about that. So now we got something good planned. And because I'm kind of getting a little frustrated with staying closed in and I'm ready to get out. Okay, so now I'm so excited because Reed of Winder Aspire gave us permission. I'm going to get the address for you again, but he gave us permission to use his fall, his art design for our fall art quilt. And I'm so grateful. Now let me find, I thought I put, let me see, oh boy. It was an Etsy site. Okay, well, let me do this. Let me bring up, I know I at least have an address in my agenda. Oh, I know where I might have it. No, probably don't. But I was hoping I had it. No, I don't see it. Okay. Let me then just get the... Alright. Let me get you the address. So... Agenda. Okay. Now... Okay. This is just the address to his site. I'm sorry about that. And, okay, let me come back. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to click it. I have heard so many great things about it, and I really do. Come on, I want to paste. Good. Paste. Please. Did it work? All right, let's see. Come on. But, I love anything to do with history, colonial history. I'll never forget when, as my family went to see 1776. It's one of my very favorite movies. But at the end of the movie, everyone in a movie theater, gave the movie a standing ovation. And that just filled me full of pride and a feeling of connectedness, and I love that. I'm hoping this thing, come on. I don't think it went through. Maybe it's saying, it's probably saying it's too long. Hold on. Okay, well, I tell you what I'm gonna do. Let me backspace it. Okay, hold on. I'm hoping this will work. If not, just know that his site is Winder Aspire. On Etsy. He lives in Tennessee, and his art is all made by him. And I thought I would love for you to see it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up his actual artwork, because there's a few things I want to tell you if you're going to consider making this with us. All right, so let me come to detail, desktop. Okay, so let me come over to Fall Art Quilt and bring this up. And bring it over here. I fell in love with this, and I don't even remember where I saw it. I was going through the internet searching for ideas, and found this most likely in a Pinterest. But I just love this. And what I love about it is we've been kind of oh, that's sweet. I don't know if I've ever been to an off-Broadway or Broadway. I love going to live plays and performances, but they've all been little theater and stuff like that, which are wonderful. All right, what I love about this picture is we've been working, remember we just did, I've got it hanging up back there, but we tried doing strip landscape piecing. And this takes that strip idea and adds the curves. And then I love the way that the leaves looked on this. And now this is a ceramic tile that the print was printed on. But I love the colors. I noticed when I did my colorization, I was using a picture I found on Pinterest. I didn't know where to find this image. Once I found it on here, notice that the colors are so vibrant and amazing. And but I love the little dimple kind of looks on the leaves. So that's got me thinking, how can I get some of that texture? And it may be I just do some little quilt sewing. We bought your daughter tickets for a college. Oh, wow. Oh, that's terrific. Oh, that's fantastic. I love that, Dolores. I love that. But I love the tree. Now, I didn't notice until last week when I was on here with y'all how that he has done a stained glass effect. And that's what all of these are kind of supposed to look, stained glass. But I don't know if I'm going to do a stained glass look to the tree. And I don't want to do a whole bunch to do this, to make this look. See the edges of the different pieces? I would have to do a lot of satin stitching or couching. Now, couching is maybe a thought, but I hate satin stitching. I hate it. So, but then if you look down here, you know how Hopi does hand quilting on her landscape quilts? I mean, hand embroidery on her landscape quilts? Wouldn't this be great to add hand embroidery to? So, I just really like this. So, what I want to tell you, if you want to make this, I have the free pattern. I took and made a pattern of it. Mr. Reed said, feel free to use it, embellish it, use it like it is, whatever way. He would just like anyone that makes a picture of it, he would love to see it. He said, I am fascinated with how it looks made with fabric. So, how wonderful that he is on board with this experiment of ours. And artists are the nicest people. So anyway, but I wanted to tell you, if you're going to do this, what I like about this is the bright and rich colors. I'm a huge fan of jewel tones, and this has a ton of jewel tones. So keep that in mind when you're shopping your stash, or if you actually go out and buy new fabric. Now, I'm going to switch over to my close-up camera, and then I'll show you what I've done so far, because I want to kind of hold your hand and walk you through every step in this process, because honestly, this could be a real winner. My strip, let me show you. I still have my strip quilt, the ocean quilt, and I love that thing. I absolutely love it. Now let me come in a little, whoops. That, I love that. And that's just 1/2 inch strips. And I really do love it. So, if I love the 1/2 inch strips, then I know we're going to love this. And this is called a collage quilt. And so I'm going to just walk you through the steps of the process, because it's going to be pretty fun and pretty easy. All right. Oh, I had a really good question. Our Miss Polly, so talented lady, and I've got a new photo from her. She said, why do you use both the freezer paper and the heat and bond light? Okay, and I now use this. I used to use Steam-A-Seam, but it had so much adhesive on it, it gummed up my sewing machine. So now I use heat and bond light for this kind of work. And she said, why do you use both? And so I'm going to show you why. I'm a very visual person. You don't have to do this. But if I get my eye off of it, I kind of forget what I've got. So let's move to the close-up camera. I am loving the 2 cameras. And let's now work on this. All right. So first thing I did, whoops, let me bring this up. The first thing I did was make my own drawing of this. And because I wanted it the size I wanted it. So I did this time, instead of doing 16 blocks, I did 4. So, and it wasn't going to be the full size of a sheet of paper. That's fine. It's the size I felt good about. And so this is page 1. This is page 2. This is page 3. And this is page 4. Now, I took the time to do all the coloring in with colored pencils, but just remember that you know, you can gray it out or whatever if you want to change the colors. But this was the first thing I did. The second thing I did was I came down and got a piece of scrap muslin and took, the first thing I did to it was iron fusible interfacing on the back. The one thing I haven't done yet is I want to go around the whole piece with a basting stitch and baste the interfacing to the muslin, because I will be handling this a lot. I will work on it downstairs, then I'll roll it all up and take it upstairs, and then bring it back downstairs. So I am hard on these things. I have to be honest. I am hard. Whoops. Let me move my drawing there, because the colored pencils have wax in them. Not as much as a crayon, but yep, they're there. So I just want to I drew on this today. I went ahead and got my light box and I drew, put the muslin on top of the drawing and made a rough sketch. So, whoops, don't iron the baggies, Deb. Okay, so I made a rough sketch. And I had this all ironed before, but like I say, I roll things up and carry them from place to place. Now, it's hard to get fusible interfacing to lay flat on the fabric, but it doesn't really matter. What I want you to notice about this, now I actually piece this muslin, because that doesn't matter either. It's all going to be covered. This is a foundation. This is foundation piecing. And this is the foundation. And so what I want to show you is I went 2.5 to 3 inches bigger than the photo. Let's see. When I said 2.5 inches, 2 3/4 inches. And 3 up here. But I made the muslin 2 to 3 inches all the way around bigger. There's a reason to do that, because it protects the actual work. You will pick it up and move it most of the time by these borders. And as you add things in and as you stitch them down with invisible thread, monopoly, it will tend to want to draw up. So you have to have that extra fabric. Then at some point I'm going to put it on my frame, because it's easier to do all the thread painting with my long arm. So this gives me room to put it on my frame and then do the thread painting. Okay, so now I've got this. I put it on a light box, but if you don't have a light box, tape it to, first tape the pattern to a bright window, and then tape the muslin on top of this to the window, and then you'll be able to see through and draw. And I drew with a Sharpie. That's where I got the nice little fingernail coloration, because I wanted to be able to really see it. Then I came back with an ink pen, so because I tend to be a little bit of a clumsy writer, and I drew all the numbers. Now remember, each of these is a quadrant. So starting here with 1, over here, 1 starts here. But they're all 1 through however many pieces. But it's by quadrant. And so just remember that. But I didn't want to start at 1 and end up in the hundreds. So, alright, so now I've got both of these things. Then the next thing I did, remember I told you I took freezer paper, and I put freezer paper, I cut it the size of a copy paper. And then I took and ironed the freezer paper, the shiny side towards the copy paper. I ironed the freezer paper onto the copy paper, and that way I could easily put it through the printer, and I printed the pattern on it. Now this is page 1. Good, good, good. And so let me show you. Hopefully, did I put, let me see, that first little piece. Hopefully it's in here. Right. Let me see. But what I did is I took the freezer paper and separated it from the copy paper, and I took just the freezer paper and cut it out. And what I did is I cut it right down the middle of the Sharpie lines, so that each piece you could see right where the original edge was. And here is the part in number 1 that's going to be the tree. And here are all the different pieces, 1 through 40 something. Yeah, this one was almost to 50. And I saved the leftover freezer paper in case I needed to replicate a pattern again. And that's what I used to say. Page 1. Oh, it's 1 through 53. Okay. So here, this took a while. I did it while watching TV. But it did take a while because I wanted to cut very carefully, get all the little squiggles and marks. So here are all these pieces now. Page 1, 1 through 53, all cut out. And so I got a baggie for each page and cut out all the pieces, okay? But, so when Polly was asking, why do you do both? Because then what I do, I'll show you it's just my own little style, something I do. Then I take sheets of the Heat and Bond and I pick fabrics. I pick about what size approximately I think I will need of each fabric. Then I place it on the heat and bond and iron it onto the heat and bond. Okay, so now when I get all of these cut out, and sometimes I overlap it because I don't think I'm going to need the whole thing, but I want to keep it as one piece so that if I only use a part of it, then I can still put some more heat and bond under, like here, the little edge. I didn't worry about getting it all to the edge. And I don't want to waste heat and bond because this project will probably finish off this pack because it's going to take about 3 yards easily. This stuff is it is probably about 20 inches, 17 inches. And so 17 inches, and then you figured 17 inches one way, like right here. I plan on using a good amount of this. So now here, hopefully you can see right here that this part hasn't been used yet. So any place like that that's not been fused, I save it in a little scrap pile because some of these pieces for this tree are gonna be pretty tiny and you just might need it. So this is gonna be a color that I'm going to definitely have to use, and some colors I might not use at all, but it's very important for me to go through my fabrics and get as many different shades. Here is for some of the highlight areas that I think I might need. Okay, so I'll pull this. You can see I just kind of stack them and iron them because I don't want to get fussy with it. I just want to get it ready to go. So now I gotta lift this up and go underneath here. But mainly I just take, and this is not, I have 3 sheets of this, and this is by far not all that I have. I'm going to want to use more. And I'll show you about that. But just looking, I like to look at the inspiration photo and think, what do I have in my stash? So this, I thought about this. Start using fabrics that, let me bring it back up. Start using fabrics because I'm going to start working from the bottom of this quilt, I have decided. So here, and this may be for the tree, different, I got all different kinds of things. All right, so let me move this. Then here is my other sheet, and look what I found. Right here in the foreground, it is red and green. Well, look what I had in my Jenny Beyer collection. Is that amazing? And I got lots of little colors. And this, I think this is, I chose this one, I believe. Or one of these I chose for the gray yellow of this portion of sky. So, but you notice my colors are nice and bold and bright. All right. So then, here are my 4 pages worth of pieces cut out. Oh, this is what I wanted. This way, I've got to put this on some of the fusible, but this is for page 1. So let me put this back in here. That's what I was looking for a moment ago. But here, all the pages cut out. Now, my goal, I'll just show you some more colors. This might have been the grade yellow. Okay, so let's come down here. You know what? It would be a good idea for me, Miss Bonnie. I wanted to use it first and see what I thought about it, and I love it. So that is definitely something I will be doing. Okay, if you notice in this, you see this kind of area of green, brown, whatever. Here's another Jenny Buyer to the rescue. And then for some of the mountain ranges, there we go. And then part of, look, I'm just trying to figure out, oh, this would be perfect up there. I can't quite remember what I got for where. Here's purple. These still need to be put on heat and bond. But look at this orange, and it's in here. And I love the mottled coloring. It's so good. Then I got every bit of yellow I could think of, even down to something real pale. And actually, I got a piece of pure white fabric, because right here, to make this sun, for here and here, I think I'm going to need some pure white. But then I got some of this dark teal that I can use. Even, look at this, because there's some pink areas, and this, because it's a batik, it has, look at that, it mimics this fabric, as well as orange and yellow even. I have another piece of an orange yellow. Look at this for right here. So it's taking the time to look through your stash. And I pulled out a gob of it, and I'm only using half of what I pulled out. But even what I pulled out is a ton of it, going from the palest yellow to the darkest yellow. This I don't know if I'm going to need. It just happened to be in the stack, and I said, well, hold on to it until I know for sure. Here is going to be, there are some teal colors, top and bottom, so I've got that. I even found this. Evidently, at some point, I started to make little hearts that I was going to put on garland. But I said, ooh, that's really good. So I'm going to take apart that and use it in the quilt. Any little pieces of batik is good. All my different yellows. Now, I won't use all those yellows. But then all the different colors of blue. And I've got some fabric upstairs. More of this that was ombre with a pattern that I'll definitely be using. Look at this for up here. Perfect, perfect. Then I needed the palest blue I had. And this being that this is a batik. So it has some areas that are still white. And I can decide just where I need the brightest pieces. And I can special cut to try to get all the white areas. So I'm just trying, by showing you this, I'm just trying to show you what my thought processes are that go into this. Now here you see the dark blue. You see the dark blue. And see how that it's all striated because it's a wonderful stained glass? Well, this is going to be my stained glass. And I think this is a very good idea. Oh, Bonnie, that's very good. Bonnie reminded me to tell you, check out the back of fabrics because you might find just what you want on the back if you need something pale. All right, let me just go through here. Here is another. I knew I had to get some teal because you see how teal is worked in through here and up at the top. So I pulled out some teal scraps. I got all kinds of blue because there are quite a few different blues in this. And that works well for me because blue is my favorite color. Then I got out these, some dark purple and mottled purple for some of these little leaf areas. Oh, look at this. This is so cool. I just found this morning. And oh my goodness, when you're looking at some of these areas, I can kind of pick, and it will give me actual feeling of movement in some of the busy areas. So I will definitely be using this. And I try to remember too, pick bold, bright colors. And this is a wonderful Jenny Beyer red that gives so many variations. And so let's say you want a dark red area, then you cut that here. But if you want it lighter, just move it down to get just the shade you want. So I'm going to be sad when I finally use up my last of my Jenny Beyer. But here's another piece of that batik. Then I wanted to make sure to get a wide range of colors to give that sense of depth. See some of these reds down in here? They're so deep. So I got out a little piece of anything I thought I could use. Even this, because I thought, well, I might need it for some of these pinks that have the little bit of pattern. I even pulled out some of this because maybe there's an area where it is pink and purplish, and or I might need a little piece to put down on the bottom. Another yellow. You see how many? This is actually yellow too. So if you realize that I'll be going from dark to medium to palest pale and then white, that will give me the brightness I need to do that sunset behind the clouds. Okay, here is a great purple that I can use right here, and see how it's mottled. I just love, it's like, look at the color, look at the pattern or design. Then I thought this I could use up in the yellow grays, or I could come down and use little bits where they have the lighter tan. So, but these all need to be, and here is a wonderful light blue. When you go to buy fabrics, when you are building your stash, don't always just go for the pretty fabric that catches your eye. But look at this. This would go perfect there. And so make sure you have a nice range from light to dark. Another teal. So, and here's a nice dark teal, which there's dark teal right up here. There's dark teal down in here. So I get the wide range of colors. So these still, most of these still need to be ironed. Here is that fabric. I have even more of it upstairs because this, it'll give movement. And these all came from a bag of quilts that I had been doing earlier. Now, I don't know if I'll use this, so I'm probably not going to put this on. There's some areas that might look good. I'm not sure. There's even this area right here, but anything that's close, I get out. Now, there are areas like right here where it's part blue, part teal. So I went to one of my ombres, and here's a scrap of the Heat and Bond that I'm keeping out. But I went to one of my ombres, and I had this little bit with the teal where it becomes the blue. So this would be perfect because it goes from blue, blue to teal. So I think this would be perfect. All right, now I think I'm just about, here's another dark brown. Look at this wonderful color. I am thinking I can use it for along here, although this one has some of the mottled look, which really mimics the stained glass look, but I could use this here or up top there. Same with this. And then here, this will be great for right in here. So since I'm going to be cutting a lot of little pieces, let's say I have this piece right here. I might segment that one pattern piece and stitch the different fabrics together so that I am sure to get all the nuances there. Because this is a quilt I'm going to work very hard on. Now, I wanted to make sure that I had some of the highlight colors. Don't look at this. This is where a drop of water bleached it. But here, look how light this is over here. So, I picked out a couple of these. And this is a pretty good contender. That could be a good contender. Now, when I was looking through bags of things, I found pieces that I've already, in fact, I need to take that other one out of the mix because I've already got this on, see this? I've already got some right here on the heat and bond. That's ready to go. I've already got this blue. So what I do is once I am done using everything I want for this, I will save it in, oh, this is going to be really beautiful with some of these red pinks, and oh, beautiful. But I will save these. I will have a container where I save all of these things. This came, I'm pretty sure this bag I had used for the reverse applique. But look at all these already ironed down. Oh, I like the ombre look of that. And there are a couple places I could use a bright yellow. But anyway, just thought I would show you that since I love making art quilts and collage quilts specifically, I keep all of these scraps, all of them. And I will have them in one container so that the next time I go to make an art quilt, I'll have them all. So, let me do something right here. I want to give you a good idea of how this now plays out, because I've been trying to explain why, and I'm not doing a good job, so I'll focus. But I want to explain why I do freezer paper and the paper-backed fusible. All right, to do the paper-backed fusible, you have to put it on the back, the wrong side of the fabric. And also, when you go to put it down, you peel off the paper that has the identifying number. So this is what I'm going to show you. Let me go back and get my bag number 1, page 1 bag. Okay, right here. All right. So the first piece I actually cut out the other day. Now, let me make sure that this is on. I'm going to come over here to this extra piece, and I save, sometimes I'll make a little container where I save all the little bits of this, because sometimes all you need to do is just rip off a piece, stick it under fabric, and iron it down. So I don't stand on ceremony. I use every bit because I'm definitely of the philosophy, waste not, want not. So what I'm going to do now is take and iron Let me move this a little forward so I've got some ironing space. Whoops. Alright, I'm going to iron this onto the fabric. Okay, whoops. I should have, let me just scrape this off. I should have put down an ironing sheet. But the good news is I'm going to be recovering this ironing surface very soon. Alright, so now that I have ironed this down, what I'm going to do is leave 1/4 inch around the pattern, because I'm thinking I don't want a lot of raw edges. Now I might change my mind. I might get tired of the work it takes. But, so now I will peel the paper off the back of this. Whoops, not the front. I will leave the front paper on. I'll peel off the back so that I have the fusible ready to go. Okay. And if you ever have trouble getting the paper up, just scrape it with a pen and it will come right up. Alright, so now lay this out. Move this up. This is to show me where everything is. And you can easily, oh, wait a minute. This is up higher. This is page 1. Okay, page 1. Alright. Where is this piece? On page, oh, right there. Okay, that's where it goes. 1B. Okay, I see that. So now what I can do is I might just fold this under, because what's going to be above this is going to be a lighter color. Okay, and let me show you this. And this is the neat thing. Okay, and I don't want it to be too big, because I just realized when I fold this under, that part is not going to be very sticky. And what I will do then is keep some good tacky glue around, so that if I go to fold this down and it doesn't quite stick, once I know that I'm done with it, then good old tacky glue will take care of whatever the adhesive doesn't. So here it is. Here's piece 1B. Alright, so I'm going to take and fold this under. Just kind of pinching it, finger pressing it. And if I have to, like right here, I want to get it to come up where this little, I'll do a little nip there and a nip there. And that way I can carefully fold it down to follow that line as good as possible, because I want not only the right color fabric, but I want to do this design in fabric. It's going to take a little bit of effort, but it will be worth it. So make sure I fold this under like this and come on down there. Alright, then with it still on the freezer paper, now I can lay, what's below it is going to be a nice orange. I can lay the orange on top of the red. You have to be really careful. If it were too big of a color difference, you would want to fold under the bottom part as well. So now I'm going to come get my iron, and I'm going to iron this down. Alright, now see, I'm supposed to have a different piece right here. So, alright. So now that it's down, it's where it should be, then I can go ahead and peel this paper off. But this way I can sit at the ironing board and iron all the pieces to the fabric that I want to use. I'll have this that tells me exactly what number piece this is, so I know exactly where to put it, and I'm ready to go. Every piece that I cut out will have 1/4 of an inch all the way around it, because it will give me the ability to tuck everything under or to tuck something on top of this, and I know it goes behind. Because I really would like to not have a lot of raw edges if I can help it. All right, so now this little piece I've got right here is got to go right here. All right, so I need to make an orange part for this. So I'll put this right back in my bag, knowing I've got to do something more with that end of that piece. So I'm hoping it kind of, but that's why, it's because I would like to sit and iron the fabric to all these pieces, and then this will stay, this can stay on it until, and I can actually visualize. Because if it's on the bottom, for me, I would have to try to remember, okay, it's going to be on the bottom, and to look and lay the piece out. And plus, I get a little confused with doing the mirror image thing. Jody is so good at it. I'm going to do one more piece, and this is going to be piece 41, and it's supposed to be dark red, and I'm going to try to do, look on here, and this dark red is a little more solid than the one I just did here. So let me go back to my fabric pile and pull out one of those reds that's not so mottled. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, so I want, with this piece that I'm going to do, piece 41, I'll come back in the bag and look for that piece. 41. What I would do when I work on this, I'll have all of these laid out in approximately the right, approximately the right number order. Okay, so here, put all the pieces back in. I don't want to lose them or mess them up. All right, so this piece 41, dark red, and I even wrote on there dark red. So what I'm going to do now is find an area on here that's not so mottled. And I'm going to look again and see. Yep, I just did this piece. Is going to go right there. It's got just a tiny bit of mottling on it, but it's nice and deep red. So, and it's in the shadow. Think about that too. It's on the interior of the tree, so it's going to be darker than the reds out here. So I'm going to find, ooh, this is a really good medium area. All right, so I'm going to now iron this on to this fabric. This is the freezer paper. And then I'm going to take a piece of this . Okay, and this is going to be on the back of this. So what I will do is put it right on the back of where this piece. Okay. Now, normally I would already use a piece that already has the heat and bond on the back of it. And what I'm going to do is cut out, leaving 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Either way, whether you tuck it under or not, it's going to help, and I'll show you why. This is going to have the tree put on top of this one. So there are going to be branches surrounding it. Well, that's okay, because then the branches, I'm going to have those tucked under, and the branches will cover the top of this. And that way it's just keeping everything nice and tucked in. You wouldn't want to put the branch right up to the edge of this. I want it to be secure and where it can be folded to be put away and unfolded to display, and none of the pieces will come loose or not be sturdily attached. So I'm now peeling off the back of the heat and bond. Now I'm going to come in here and lay this. Let me pick up the iron in just a moment. I can look while I'm placing this down and see, because of the pattern, make sure the pattern is right in place. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, if you have a little, stiletto, this is a good place to use it. It's a good place to use a stiletto. It's also a very good place to use tweezers, because some of the pieces are going to be small. Piece 8 right here, and up where you have little bits of sky, 16, or these are little bits of sky. So get your tweezers and get a stiletto. If you don't have a stiletto, just get a skewer. Let me get a cleaner skewer. And you can then use this to hold it down while you press. To save your fingers. Alright, so now that's what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, I told you I was going to work from the bottom up, so I'll have to go back to the bottom. And there we go. So, and it, like right there, if that's not laying down good enough, then just take, although, what is number 2 above me? I think number 2 is going to be a blue. Yes, number 2 is going to be a blue. So guess what? I will leave where this, I folded it over, I'll lay the blue down so it goes under. Then I'll put little touches of tacky glue and push it down. Okay, I hope that's making sense to you. So if I get a nice pale blue, this is where I'm talking about. I don't want to have a lot of raw edges. So I'll take the piece number 2 and slip it under, and then tacky glue this part down. Okay? Now, do you have any questions? Hi, Miss Lisa! No worries, hon. And, and they'll show this forever. You'll get sick of me. But anyway, I'm hoping this makes some sense. I'm excited to be able to work with an artist from Tennessee, from Winder Aspire, and show him what we can do with fabric compared to his paints and stained glass. So these tiles, I think, are transfer of the original. Like, I think it's a transfer he puts on top of the tile. But anyway, so I hope that has given you some idea. And now you know why you have to have everything drawn on here, and you have to keep this as your main source. This is your road map. And now purple and blue come next, so I can tuck that under the red. And I'm just going to work, and that's why I'm going to start down at the bottom here. I'm so excited to use that Jenny Beyer green red fabric. Now let's say you don't have a green red. I got lucky. If you don't have a green red, then what you can do is pick the closest fabric you have to it and then use color pencils, fabric markers, or ink tints and add the color that you need to replicate the look, which is right here, the look of the red and green at the base of that tree. And the reason that's red and green, colors closer to you are more intense and truer to the color. So you'll get a real green because it's right there close to you. The red and orange is from the leaves that have fallen at the base. So that's why it was important to me. Now I put a little more of a root system on this tree. You can change it if you wish. A piece of glue or something got here and I couldn't color over it. But I like a nice root system at the base of my tree. And the tree in some ways is a little bit thicker maybe. Not that bad. But I love trees very, very much. So, okay, I hope I have covered enough to help you get started. But this will be the first piece that I put on. And then I'll just, where did I put 2 and 3 and 4? I'm not sure which way. I know piece 1 is here, but I'm not sure where. Oh, here's 2. No, that's 21. Oh, I started up here for page 3. But that's okay, as long as I follow the numbers. I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up so that I'm tucking them under all the way up. I'll have something finished, and when I am ready to be done with it, I'll come in with invisible thread and stitch over every piece. Because fusible only holds them down temporarily. Never consider fusible to be permanent. All right now, so I'm just so excited I found a green and red because I thought, where am I going to find a green and red? My Jenny Buyer. I just love that one. Oh, I want to show you this. I looked around in my landscape fabrics. One of the problems I have is finding this is just too big of a print. But I got it out because I can cut some of the dark areas. I can cut along here, just a narrow strip for a branch. But most likely I'm going to use my darkest brown that I have. I thought about this one. I don't know. It might have too prominent of a pattern. I love this, but I might use it for branches. I don't want these on it unless they can hide where it's going to be orange leaves. But it'll probably, my tree is probably going to come from the darkest areas of this. And I kind of wish I had an even darker brown. So I may be doing some ink tints on the top of this. But I will definitely be cutting the tree pattern out of the darkest part of this. All right. So just thought I would let you know, here is another bark fabric, but I'm going to use this for part of the background above the tree where it gets, I've got all of these areas. I've got this color, this color, this color. All these are browns that I'll be using. And then I'm going to need some for these deciduous trees that are changing color in that background. All right. And anywhere I need texture, I will be doing embroidery. So I'm very excited about this. I absolutely adored doing the mosaic quilt. And so I'm really excited. This is kind of another step on that path. Also, I'll never forget telling Jody that I can't do these. I'm not any good at making little patterns, and now I love it. I think the mosaic really kind of got me into thinking about little pieces and where do you go from there. So now it is time for show and tell. And hopefully I have mentioned and then show and tell and one closing topic right after show and tell about fall. It's a new time of year, and how does it make me feel? It might make you feel the same way. All right, let's go to show and tell. Okay, close that out. Viewer photos, and let's do show and tell. What is this? Oh, I tell you what, sometimes you happen to catch something and you say, this is so good, I need to show them this. These are 1/2 inch hexagons. Do you see this? Is this incredible? And this is a historic quilt. I'm trying to remember the age. I'm trying to remember if they said 1800s, maybe 1830. I wish I had written it down. But I thought 1/2 inch hexagons made this whole quilt. That was a far better artist than me made that quilt. Isn't that just amazing? So I thought you might like to see it. Okay. Now, let's go. Miss Alberta sent me some pictures. And I love the things Miss Alberta does. And look at this table runner that she made. Miss Alberta, I think I had the same floor pattern on my kitchen in Maryland. My son and I, he was just a kid, we put it down and it was the prettiest floor. And I just saw that and went, oh, that reminds me. But isn't this pretty? And if you look, it's got turkeys and fall scenes and it's just lovely. And I'm trying to think, she said she made it with the pattern maybe from Missouri Star. So I will find more out about that and let y'all know. But isn't that just lovely? Farm, all that. I love the way the edges are. That is so cool. So way to go, Miss Alberta. Way to go. Y'all are so talented. All right, then she has another one. Miss Alberta is one of those wonderful people who has placemats and new table runners, and probably for every season. I always want to do that and never quite get anything done. But aren't these beautiful? I love that. Is a good old-fashioned block, and I love it. And tell you what, it's flying geese and half-square triangles. That took a good amount of work. Yes, her colors are fabulous, aren't they? So that is wonderful. Thank you, Miss Alberta, for sending these. Way to go. All right. If you ever send me pictures and I don't answer back, you might want to send them again, because I try to answer back because I'm always so impressed by what you do. Okay, Miss Bonnie posted a beautiful picture. And look at this. Miss Bonnie is one of the best applique ladies I've ever met. Look at this. Isn't it just beautiful? So way to go, Miss Bonnie. Beautiful. All right. Thank you, Miss Bonnie. All right, go back to show and tell now. No, I don't think I have anything good so far as pictures. I do have something cute to show you that I got from Miss Hopi. This is Debbie's. This is her class quilt. Her Snail's Trail Al Fresco. Isn't that beautiful? And she says she wants to try another one with a nice dark color for the background too. There's something that is just as beautiful, but there's something that gives you a little punch with that dark background. Maybe it's just because we still see more light backgrounds. This came from a friend of Miss Debbie's whose wife had passed and wanted to see all of her beautiful little works of art get passed to someone who would appreciate them. And look at Debbie has done. She is using this as a trapunto effort, and it's beautiful. And she wants to finish them and have them sing. So I think that is just beautiful, Miss Debbie. Way to go. I love her design wall too. She's got a great design wall. Okay. Now let's see who is next. Miss Hopi. Speaking of, well, I'll show it to you as soon as we're done, because I don't want to change screens yet. Well, Miss Hopi stays very busy and up there in Canada, and look at her progress so far with her mosaic. I love it. I think she is outdoing herself. Just beautiful. I can't wait till next year's mosaic. I had so much fun with this year's, and it's always going to be one of my favorite quilts. And we know about her Northern Lights, and this is where I was talking. This is Miss Hopi's landscape, and look, all of this in the front is hand embroidery. So we're going to probably use that for this art quilt too. I think that's a grand idea. And so she's going to have to teach me how she does that beautiful, the branches on that. That is just beautiful, Miss Hopi. Thank you. Okay, here is her class quilt. That's the picture from that she used as inspiration for her landscape. Look at this wonderful quilt. I think it was Ralph's favorite. And this on her bed. That is so cute. It looks to me like it is a native Canadian version of Sunbonnet Sue, which tickles me to no end. Okay. And this, that is fabulous. That must brighten up a long winter day, let me tell you. Okay, so now, let's see. Let me see. Linda Williams, another new member. I love her collage landscape. Look at this. And she hand cut all the flowers, the pictures of the kitties, the deer up here. It looks like she had so much fun. To me, it is like being a kindergartner again, and you've got some construction paper, scissors, and glue. And there's no better feeling than that. So way to go, Miss Linda. Oh, look at this one that she did. This is for a wedding. This is probably one of her grandchildren or her daughter or son. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I was up a little late again last night, silly me. I love her impromptu style. She has a great style. All right, now that was Miss Linda Williams. And Miss Mary. Let's see what we've got, Miss Mary. I loved showing her mosaic quilt with the two cute blackbirds. So cute. They're either blackbirds or crows. I'm not sure, but probably crows. All right. Then here is her version of the Santa Fe, the Snail's Trail Santa Fe quilt that we did for this year's class. And here's her birdies on a wire. And here is her splash, her reverse applique quilt. I love that. More birdies. That just, now you see why I always smile when I'm looking at Miss Mary's work. She puts so much fun into it. All right, now I don't think I've gotten anything recently from Miss Mare. Let me go back. But she's been busy getting her Superwoman A1C. That's fantastic. And Marsha Hahn. Yep, let me see. Here are, these are lunch meat containers recycled. And I'm all for recycling containers. And then her three-dimensional flower garden, just beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, and that was Marsha Hahn. Oh, and don't forget, at some point, maybe before Christmas, we'll do some of these fabric. Meltum's here. Hi, Meltum. Fabric bowls. They would make really nice gifts. So maybe we'll have a little Sunday workshop on those bowls. Okay, now let me see. Let me go back here. Melanie. Oh my goodness. Melanie's been very busy taking care of Dan after his surgery, and it's going to be months before he gets back to full speed. And there's dear little Willow, who's kept them very good company during this time. And there is Dan sitting at his drafting table planning his next quilt. Isn't that great? And then another of Miss Willow. This is Melanie's quilt that she wanted to show. And look at what Dan has done. I'm pretty sure this one's his. But isn't this great? I just love that. So he's very talented. He sees things with a mathematical eye. I love it. All right, now let's go back to Miss Meltum. Sent a couple new pictures. And let me see, what did she send? Uh-oh, I thought, did I not pick them up or what? She did send me a couple new pictures, and I thought for sure I got them. These were from, maybe it's this. Let me see. She went on a vacation with her brothers. And let me see. Got to get it over here. Yeah, okay. And they took a walk in a beautiful, I think it was a national park. Just beautiful. But I thought for sure, Meltum, if I don't have your latest, I promise I will download it for next time. Because I think I even answered your email back. Let me look one more time. But I love that. Isn't that just beautiful? It's like the ancient woods. Oh, beautiful. Okay. And I'm trying to think if there's any... No, I saw that one already. Huh. Well, I'm so glad they didn't walk across that suspension bridge, especially because it's closed, because it's dangerous. But, oh, poo. Let me see. No, I love Miss Meltum's photos, so I save them. Okay, Miss Polly. Miss Meltum, I'm sorry. I will definitely see what happened to those. I must have put them somewhere else. I'm sorry, hon. But Miss Meltum is looking to take new classes this fall. I'm so excited. Now here's Miss Polly's attic window 9-patch. I love this, or shadow 9-patch. That is terrific. Okay. I think where... about, I just got to show this one more time because just love my little grandbabies. There they are, out learning how to skateboard with all the important padding and safety features. But aren't they the cutest? This is Donnie and that's Russell. Russell's 6, Donnie's 5. That is wonderful. Okay, I think we did it. And if I missed someone, I apologize. Okay, let me come back to y'all. Okay. Oh, so now I wanted to show you 2 things. I want to show you what Miss Hopi sent to me this morning because it was so cute. So cute. Okay. No, don't go backwards. I'm going to have to hold it close to you. Wow, this house is amazing. I want to buy it. Where do I send an offer? Ma'am, this is a fabric store. Who of y'all wouldn't mind living in a fabric store? Can you imagine? Roll out of bed in the morning, go out and look at the fabric that'll give you the inspiration to make your next quilt. All right, and then the one last thing I wanted to tell you is I have started feeling different lately. I was outside watering my back deck plants and I thought I'm ready to put the plants and the pots to bed. I'm ready. You just reach a point, it's the temperature in the air or the leaves starting to fall. It's whatever. But I thought, yeah, I'm done with summer, especially after reading that this was the most humid summer since 1981. And it was oppressive. But, and then when I noticed when I was over by my chair, I told you I was cleaning up some of my paper bead, kind of calling them, getting out the, that's not that great. No reason to save it. Don't want the house to collapse under the weight of junk mail. But I just found myself wanting to clean it up, clear things out, put things to the side that I'm not ready to work on, put some things away. I know I never made my paper, handmade paper this summer. It was just too hot. It was the summer that kind of wasn't. And I'm ready to go. I can't wait till next month and go see. I'm going to take a ride on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And I go up to Pilot Mountain and get on not too far from there. And I go up towards that direction. I'm ready to go see the fall leaves change. I'm ready to go have a picnic outside. This lovely cool weather. But inside, I'm feeling like cleaning things up, putting things away that I no longer have an interest in doing right now, and pulling out some winter projects. I start to just naturally go that direction. I want to do some more crocheting. I want to do some more clay. And I can't wait to get back to my bobbin lace. So it's just kind of, it just naturally happens. You don't even realize that all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to long nights, to it getting dark early, and just sitting and doing hand projects. I'll probably make another miniature house or scene. And I don't know, finish some of the hand applique projects that I have been trying to work on, and definitely get around to start making my homemade gifts for Christmas. So, and even a quilt like this, doing this collage quilt, it's a real nice winter project, although I hope to have it done long before winter. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. Y'all are wonderful. Oh, thank you, Hi, Miss Jo. Oh, I'm so glad to see her. Miss Jo is an amazing woman, and we are so thankful to her and Marcia Florum for acting as our moderators with the mostest. So take good care of yourselves. And Mark turned on the fan. I've been sitting here, bottom of my legs are cold, and I forgot. Normally during the heat of the summer, I had to have a fan over there. But anyway, and I hope that you do like our one last look at our Snail's Trail al fresco. It was our summer class. I did make paper piecing patterns to make it, so if any of you would like it, just give me a holler, or you can join our group's IO. It's on the group site. I definitely think paper piecing is the way to go with this complex of a project. So take good care, and yeah, by the time we have another show, it'll be the first day of fall next Sunday. So that's great. I do too. They are pretty cool. So all quilted, just ready for binding. Take good care of yourself. Do something special just for you. If you can, get out to the movie. Hamilton's playing. Maybe I won't be the only one who knows very little about the movie Hamilton. So, I'm sure you will, Miss Mary. You are a busy lady, so that's great. And take good care. I'm going to get my fake pumpkins out and decorate with them. And I'm feeling that tug of fall. I love the fall. Take good care, and y'all are the very best. Bye-bye, everyone.